Hi everybody. Hi Sunnis. What's up? How's everybody doing? Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all feeling welcome and ish. And yeah, so this is gonna be a teaching video. So that's what we're gonna do today. And welcome to Protect Your Spark. We're revamping, restarting, like doing things better. And And what better way to, start than understanding the full potential of your mind. So we're gonna go here with some facts. Gonna state one or two things, but I think what I want to say before I go into the statistics and the actual power of the human brain, the human mind. I'm gonna start with the importance of like creativity, or the importance of like using your mind to its fullest potential. The fact remains that human beings were the ones that created basically everything we see that is not nature, everything that is not natural, everything that's not the plants, it's not the animals. It was a human being that made it, right? So I want you to actually think about that. Look at your phone, think about it. Just think about it. A human being made this phone. Somebody had the idea, collaborated with a few people, and he made this device that is still working to today. It's connected to a bunch of other devices via the internet. And because even look at the internet, someone made that. You know? Like, if you want to know the potential of what you can do, just look at people, look at successful people. They are human beings too. The difference between you and them is the fact that one way or the other, they realize their potential and they are working with it. That is the only. Now, obviously, there are some unfair advantages that people are born with. Some people are born rich. Some people are born in the right environment. Some people have the right friends, and so on and so forth. But it doesn't matter, because one thing you notice when you, and I would also like, I think I'll call it like pro tip number one. Pro tip number one. Make a habit of studying great people. There's this video, Magnets Media. There's this YouTube channel. Magnets Media. They do a lot of documentaries on like successful people like Andrew Carnegie, Rockefeller, and so many other people like Nintendo. So many different people. The thing you need to do is that you underestimate what you can do, because you tend to forget that these people that are rich and powerful, not all of them started out like that. Not all of them were born into rich families. Andrew Carnegie was not born into a rich family. Alright, Nintendo was failed startup. It wasn't even funny. But the point is, these people did not start from money. Alright? All of them started from like, they were poor. Like, look at how Airbnb started. Airbnb, they flew in for like a tech conference or something, and but they needed some extra money to just get something, so they just like I don't know what website they posted it on, but they just posted on the website that okay, we are offering an air mattress and breakfast to anybody that wants to come in and stay. So somebody came, they put the air mattress on, and the person had a place to sleep. And when they woke up, they had food to eat before they leave. That's where the name Airbnb came from. And today is a global phenomenon. We haven't have it in Nigeria. I don't know if it's officially the Airbnb or just something following the Airbnb business model. But fact is, it's a worldwide phenomenon, right? And it started from a guy with an idea. That can be you. It started with one idea. One idea is all you need. Bob Proctor would always, I think I love watching some of his old videos, say that one idea is all you need to get the success that you seek. One, not two, just one. It's gonna take. It's not gonna be. It might not be easy. I'm not gonna lie, because having the idea is like, having the idea is, to be honest, I feel like having the idea is the hard part, because once you have the idea, all you have to do is execute it. That executing the idea is the easy part. It's longer, but not having the idea means you spend multiple years doing things that don't work or things that are not it for you. This idea will be tailored to, because the revelation, the idea will be tailored to you, the things that you need to do. It's like that light bulb effect that you see in cartoons, like, oh, I got an idea. Or if I want to use something that most people would know, or at least a lot of people would know, if you see legacies from what's her name? Wow, her name just Cleo, sorry. Cleo from Legacies, the one at the Nigerian witch. Yeah, she speaks Yoruba, she's Nigerian. Yeah. She has this power of inspiration. That's why Malvor and all the other people want her, because if she's around you, you can just get this like wave of inspiration, and like whatever solution, whatever issue you have, like the solution comes to your mind. That's an idea. An idea comes to your mind, and once the idea has come, there's nothing but possibility. Once the idea has come, there is nothing but possibility. There is nothing but okay, we have the idea, now we just need to know how to implement it. We just need to grow it and scale it. That is the easy part. Getting the idea to come is the more difficult part. But I would also say there's also kind of a formula to that, so we'll get to that one piece by piece. But if I were to give like a mini blueprint, me personally, I'm a Christian, so I never want for ideas because I don't know how it is for most people, but me personally, and the place where I come from, where all of us are, when we pray, we get answers. When we pray, okay, big guy, that's OG, good God, this is what I want to do, what do you think? This is what I want to do, what do you think? And I get, okay, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, let's do that. So I don't want for ideas, alright? So I can give a mini blueprint. I'll give you mini blueprints for people who are who don't have it that easy. I'm just gonna say that up. First of all, the best thing you can do right now is, because the idea that will sort you out is never. This is the funny thing and most painful thing about ideas. The idea that will sort you out is never really far from you or the things that you do. They're never really far apart. It's usually very closely related, and it's usually something that is already there, but you just can't see it yet. So what you need to do is, first of all, you write down all the things you can do, all your likes. See, don't be afraid to write it down. Your likes, your dislikes are also very important. Your likes, your dislikes, your hobbies, your goals. Write them down. All right. Now, so just write the things you can do. You write your hobbies. You write your dislikes, and then write the things you wish you could do. Write them all down. Stare at that paper multiple times in a day. If at all you're gonna be just if you don't have a lot of time, maybe just spend 10 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes every day looking at that paper where you wrote everything down. An idea will come to you, trust me. And this is also another thing you should know. I think you also put on the paper, write down problems, or maybe even get a specific note. Not even paper. The paper is one thing, but also get a specific note and write down problems. Right? Problems. That's the topic. Problems. Right? You listed out the things you can do. You listed out your likes. You listed out your dislikes. You listed out the things you wish you could do. Now the next thing you need to do is write down the problems facing each and every one of these things that the problems of each thing that you can do, especially the problems the general problems. Not okay. There are some specific problems you can write down, but also mainly the focus on the problems that affect everybody. For example, let's say I can draw. What are the problems that face artists? Yeah, let's think for something smaller. Not because there are a lot of problems that face artists these days. Art block, right? Art block is a problem that feels like this when people like artists like have issues. They can't they are not getting inspiration and everything, and they just feel like their creative will is dry. That's a problem. Write it down. Maybe people don't know where they can get affordable equipment, whether for traditional arts or for digital arts. That's a problem. People don't know where to get quality, cheap yet also like functional equipment, budget equipment that they can start with. That's a problem. So on and so forth. So you write down a problem for each of them. Write down a problem for each of them. Write down a problem for your for what you can do. Write down a problem for concerning your likes, your dislikes, and the things you want to do. The reason is because an idea is usually a solution. An idea is usually a solution. Going back to Airbnb, the idea was to solve a problem for those that don't have where to sleep and don't have what to eat. The very first Airbnb transaction gave the person a place to sleep and breakfast in the morning. That was the solution. So an idea is always a solution. So if you can, what you're doing right now is you're writing out all the problems in a separate book of all the things of this other thing you wrote in this paper, and you're not going to look at that paper. You're going to flip through those books, like do this 10 to 20 minutes every day. Ideas will come out, not just one. Ideas will come out. And also very important, when the idea comes, write it down immediately. If you're not in the place where, because inspiration can strike anywhere. That's another thing. So if you can't like write, if you're not in a position where you can write it down, like you always with your phone has a sound recorder, record just like, oh I got just record yourself. Oh I got this idea. Good. That's fine. That's it. That's all you need. Then we get back home, write it down somewhere. That's how to get that now. That's just look at it. It's like, okay, that's how to get an idea. So that's one thing. But right now, like I said, I want you to understand the full potential of your mind. Alright? I want you to understand the full potential of your mind. So let's get into that. Let's bring out statistics. Let's go. So before you understand the power of the human mind and like creativity and brain, there's this show called Pantheon. It's basically a show about it's not post-apocalyptic. It's not. It's basically the plot goes thus: a girl, her dad basically died in an operation, but then they later find out that he was actually like his brain was uploaded by the company that was quote unquote supposed to save him, because he worked for them and his mind was too powerful and he was too smart and they didn't want to lose his genius. So they uploaded his brain. Basically the whole thing is that he was already dying. I think he had cancer or something, and this was like the only way they could preserve his life, save him, be part of him anyways, which was him, not his body. And they lied to his family that the procedure didn't work. Meanwhile it actually worked. They just kept him locked away, but he found a way to his daughter. Long story short, the whole point of it's a long story. The major point of the whole plot of Pantheon is the fact that you can't do anything by yourself, basically. Obviously the power of the human mind and creativity, but it's a lot. The whole plot, it's a whole lot of things. I would recommend it actually. But the one I want to focus on is what the UIs could actually do. UI is what they call those whose brains have been uploaded. And as you know, it's basically means physical death, but like they live in digital space. And the UI's uploaded intelligence, not unlike not artificial intelligence, uploaded intelligence, because their brains are uploaded. They are basically gods in the digital space, because what they can do is so mind blowing. It's not even funny. Like literally anything I'm not even sure how to say it. Like maybe anything you think, because there's this whole part where Laurel, one of the first UIs, was like teaching David, that's Maddie's dad. Maddie's the main character, where she was teaching David that, bro, like, because he was limiting himself, he was still working like as if he had a human body, and she was basically telling like, no, that is not what you are right now. Like, the physical limitations of who you are has been removed from you. You can literally do anything here. You see scenes of them like creating things out of thin air, like reshaping worlds, doing literally insane things. And I'm like, wow. So this, like, it's a whole lot of stuff, because in the digital space, the only strength there is the strength of imagination. The only way you win fights in that digital space is if you have imagination. That's literally, if you watch fight scenes in Pantheon, it always comes down to imagination. It doesn't. There's no such thing as brute strength. It's who is the more creative person in the fight. That's what makes it so interesting, And now, if you now want to like direct this into why this is relevant, I actually decided to ask. Okay, so uploaded intelligence, that's cool. So I asked ChatGPT, how possible is it for us to, for a human being to upload their mind today? And basically, this is basically the answer. So whole conversation. So know the concept of uploading human intelligence, consciousness, or mind into a digital format as portrayed in Pantheon is not possible with current technology. While advancements in neuroscience, artificial intelligence, and computing, let's just skip. All right, TLDR, it's not possible with today's technology. So let's say key challenges: mapping the brain. The human brain is immensely complex. This is the important part. The human brain is immensely complex, right? With approximately 86 billion neurons and trillions of connections, synapses, we currently lack the tools and understanding to fully map and replicate the brain structure and function in detail. Number 2, understanding consciousness. Consciousness, self-awareness, and the mind are poorly understood phenomena. Replicating or transferring these elements into a machine would require a fundamental breakthrough in neuroscience and philosophy. Data storage and processing. Now this is the kicker. The amount of data required to simulate a human brain is enormous. Current storage and computational capacities are insufficient to replicate or emulate a human brain in real time. Okay? Brain computer interfaces, BCI. While BCIs, like Neuralink, are advancing, I think this was not really where I'm going to. All right. So now I basically now asked, okay, all right, that's cool. So then I said, under data storage and processing, how in terms of gigabytes, terabytes, petabytes, how much would an uploaded mind need to operate? How much storage would it need to be able to operate, right? And he said the estimating the data usage and processing requirements of an uploaded mind is challenging because we don't fully understand how the brain stores and processes information, which is also important. However, researchers have made speculative calculations based on the brain structure and activity. Here's a breakdown. Data storage estimates. All right, so neuron and synapse counts. First of all, I am not a neuroscientist, so some of these things are, flying over my head. But we can still make a rough estimate of what exactly they're talking about, because I already know technological terms. I know what a terabyte is. I know what a petabyte is. Petabytes. You get the point. Alright, so the human brain has 86 billion neurons and 100 trillion synapses. Each synapse is thought to store about 1 to 10 bits of information. Okay, that's fine. So the storage requirement, if each synapse stores 1 bit, so the storage requirement is 12.5 terabytes. And if they store 10 bits, as that's 125 terabytes. Keep going. Let's keep going. All right. So additional factors: dynamic activity, real-time firing rates, states of synapses, yada yada yada. Yeah. Okay. So including these, estimated range from 1 to 2 petabytes and 2.5 petabytes or more. Oh, so I was right. It's peta. All right. So this is, you would need 2.5 petabytes to store a human brain. That is how much storage you would need to store what all that is going up in your head. That's how much storage you would need. But I'm still gonna break it down. So let's just follow me. Right? Just let me cook. All right. So now for processing power requirements, flops, floating points operations per second. The brain is estimated. I think this one. I say this one. Let's just say it's a lot. Right? You need a lot of power to like operate for that brain, human uploaded mind to function in real time. You need a lot of power. Right? Roughly equivalent to the combined power of the world. The combined, not one. The combined power of the world's top supercomputers. Right? Modern supercomputers computers can simulate small neural networks, but would need vastly more power to simulate not 2, not 10, one human brain in real time. One. They would need to combine all the world's top supercomputers and even need more power to simulate a human brain in real time. A human brain. They did not say the brain of the smartest person, in an average human brain. Okay. So now let's say it's a comparison to existing technology. 1 petabyte equals to 1,000 terabytes. To give you an estimate, some phones come with 1 terabyte. Some phones have up to 1 terabyte storage, and some Samsungs, maybe 512 gig internal storage, and you get another SSD, that's another 512 gig. You have 1 terabyte space. Lots of laptops come with 1 terabyte, some with 2. So the average consumer PC, even the gamer PCs can get up to 4, maybe 8 terabytes. This says 1,000. 1,000 terabytes. And mind you, it said the estimate is 2.5 petabytes. 1 petabyte is 1,000 terabytes. That's a lot of space. That's a lot of storage. A modern data center or a cloud service can handle this, but personal devices are far from capable. Where do you want to see a personal device that has up to 1 tera, that can take up to 1 terabyte storage? Where? Alright, processing capacity. Alright, current top tier GPUs and CPUs operate at in the teraflop range. Simulating a human brain in real time would require hardware orders of magnitude beyond this. Alright, so you would need 2.5 minimum 2.5 petabytes and 1 exaflop or more.
most likely more. So I now asked. Now this is where I was going to land. That's why I said you should stay with me. Let me cook. How powerful is one exaflop or more? Because I did not know. I genuinely did not know. So I said, give it to me in AAA gaming at max settings. Max. Rendering the hardest, and so I gave it 3 categories. AAA gaming at max settings, rendering the hardest things in animation, or having an AI build an entire 3D world. I said, give it to me in these 3 scenarios. So, right. Alright, so it said 1 exaflop is an almost unimaginable level of computational power. Let's break it down into scenarios that so modern AAA games running at maximum settings, that's 4K resolution, ray tracing, ultra textures, etc. Alright, so you need about 10 to 20 teraflops. Not an exaflop, mind you. An exaflop is what we need. An exaflop at least is what we need. But any teraflop is lower than an exaflop, right? Alright, so 10 to 20 teraflops for smooth performance at 60 plus, because there's 120 frames per second as well, right? So an exaflop is that's wait, that's not 1 million. That's not 1 million, bro. Oh my god. Okay, it's not 1 million. Okay, let's keep going. Alright. So what an exaflop can do is run millions. For those of you that don't know gaming, you at least know what GTA is. You at least know what Cyberpunk 2099, is it 2099? At least you know what that is. You know what the Cyberpunk game is. If you don't know what Cyberpunk is, okay. Alright, yeah, let's see this. Yeah, so you know what Cyberpunk is. You know what, I don't want to say Fortnite. Fortnite is no, not Fortnite. Not many people know Horizon Dawn. You know what Apex. Most people on the internet know what Apex is, right? Most people know. Not everybody knows what Overwatch is, but most people know what Apex is. Most people know what other tasking game can we call Red Dead Redemption, I guess. I haven't played it, but I imagine it's really good. Some people know the Insomniac Spider-Man game, right? Now, this thing said you would have I just mentioned about 4 games or 5 games. This thing said millions. It did not say 10. Millions of AAA games running at the same time on that one computer at max settings. That is how much power 1 exaflop will get you. Mind you, this is still trying to say how much power it would take to run a human brain. If they were to put that human brain digital, upload it and try to let this person run, operate the way he normally would in the human body. If they were to put it in the digital space, can this mind function here in this digital space the way it would in the human body? This is how much power it would take. The amount of power you would need to run millions of AAA. AAA means the best of the best, with the highest the highest and most tasking graphics, most ultra realistic graphics. This thing, you would need the amount of power it would take to run millions of those games running, which means you are opening Red Dead Redemption, you are opening Insomniac Spider-Man, you are opening what did I mention? GTA 5. You are opening the Overwatch. You are opening Apex Legends. You are opening all these games, and all of them are running at the same time at max settings, and your laptop does not explode. It's all running smoothly. That's for gaming settings. That's for the gaming scenario. For rendering games with unimaginable fidelity, that's unimaginable quality. I hope I said that right, because there's a whole term between fidelity and stuff. Alright, but say ultra realistic physics, AI textures for lighting, this one might be a bit harder to explain because some people don't really understand how hard it is to animate certain things, to render certain things. Okay, but let's just move on to simulate entire game worlds. He said you'll be able to simulate entire game worlds down to the atomic level detail of every object, NPC, and particle. That is how much power you would need to run a human mind. The amount of power it will take an AI to generate a 3D world, all the way down to its littlest components, to the follicle of each, the atoms and the follicles of each strand of hair. That is how much power you would need. Like, see, rendering high-end animations like those in Pixar typically requires hundreds of teraflops per frame, yada yada. It takes weeks or months of time in massive rendering farms to create feature-length films. All right, it takes weeks or months to render these things. These short 1 hour or 2 hour movies, it takes weeks or months to render them. With one exaflop, you could render an entire feature-length film in seconds or minutes. Which means, let's take for example, I imagine it would have been a nightmare to render everything in Spider-Man, into the Spider-Verse series. I imagine it would have been a nightmare to render that thing. Alright, it might have taken a while. Or let's look at something, maybe, I don't know, Keep Up Demon Hunters. What else? Something that, or let's even take CGI, right? Like for Avatar: The Way of the Water, right? That's heavy CGI. That's a CGI heavy movie, right? It would have taken them months to render all those 3D objects and everything. He said with one exaflop it would take seconds, minutes, and it should still be able to add incredible details, and so on and so forth. I don't really need to go too deep into this because I've already answered, a lot of things, and I've already talked about this thing for too long, so I might actually have to cut this short in editing. But the whole point of this conversation is for you to understand that this is the potential amount of power you have in your head. The average person, not the smartest person, the average person, that is how powerful your brain is. So why not you? So who on earth is telling you that you are limited, and why on earth are you believing them? If in today's day, we all play games, we all watch movies, we all see at least some of us, out of the 8 billion people on the planet, some of us know how much power it takes to run. Let me even bring out the most mundane terms. What is the most mundane thing a normal person, a mundane graphic intensive thing somebody needs to do on a laptop? Mundane. Actually, I feel like games are pretty mundane, to be honest. I think everybody plays at least one game in their life. And the fact is that games are not really calming down these days with their graphics. These days, if you don't have at least 2, not 2 is an insult. You don't have at least 4 gig VRAM in your PC. What are you doing? That's more or less what video games are telling you these days. So the point is, we all know these games. We all see games that it takes that much. That is how much power is in your mind. So there is no such thing as I am limited, because you have the power in your mind to come up with things that are just amazing. If you take that much power and that much storage just to replicate, you've not talked about what it would be like to simulate a human brain that is brainstorming, like to simulate what it's like for you to actually sit down and come up with ideas when you're actually trying to think, or you're in a high stress situation, or you're in life or death situation, because the brain works differently at these different times, right? Because when you're in a high stress situation, you start to notice more details, because you are trying to think of every possible way to survive, I imagine it will take a vast amount of power to actually simulate a human brain that is doing that, compared to maybe just having a normal conversation. And even that normal conversation, we don't even have the technology that can handle that. The technology that we have right now, that can give us movies like Spider-Verse, that can give us games like Apex Legends and Cyberpunk and so on and so forth, it can't handle being able to run a human brain. Let that sink in. This tells you you're more capable than you realize. You can do so much more than you ever thought was possible. You just have to believe in yourself. See, don't believe in yourself. Believe in the facts I just told you. Don't believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, at least believe in the facts I just told you. That the average human mind is more powerful than the current computers that exist today. The average human mind is more powerful than supercomputers. So next time you feel like I can't do this, remember this video. Like, I would like you to save it, share it with somebody who needs it. Keep it somewhere that you can come back to and remind yourself, this is how powerful I am. Because the fact is, the mind, everything starts from the mind. If you permit me to quote the Bible, the book of Proverbs, it says, guard your heart with all diligence, because out of it comes the problems of life. Everything starts from the mind. If you ask billionaires, they'll always tell you being rich is not about having money, it's about your mind, your mindset. If your mind tells you are rich, you are rich. Because the thing is that it's what you think, is as you think, so you are. What you think is what you think is that will come to you. If you keep telling yourself you are broke, you will always continue to be broke. But if you keep telling yourself that you are rich, it doesn't matter whether the money is there now or not. The fact is, the money, wherever it is, has heard you say that. This sounds weird and it sounds crazy, but the fact that is the fact. Wherever that money is, wherever those people are that you need, wherever that dream job is, it has heard you say it, that I am a rich person, I am prosperous, I am smart, I am the greatest. There is literal power in the words that you say to yourself. There's literal power in the way that you think about yourself. If you keep thinking I'm a loser, I am down, I am useless, nothing I do works, bro, see, this is another tip from me to you. Enjoy failure. Enjoy failing. Because every success was built on a mountain of failure. There is no success that did not have any failure before it came. Even if you succeed on the first try, it does not mean a challenge will not come that will cause a failure. And don't run away from it. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Because, see, I keep referencing billionaires because I study billionaires. Because, dude, if you want to become great, you study great people. You want to become good at what you do, you study those who are good at what you do. And billionaires are one of the greatest people on the planet. And they would, a lot of them will tell you that some of them will say that I enjoy failure. Why? Because it means there's something I didn't see before. So it means I can do that thing and get an even better product. So this is why we're gonna call it the day. I feel like I've talked too much already. But yeah. This is the power of your mind. This is how powerful you actually are. So start living like that. Start living without understanding that I can literally do anything. I can literally do anything. So if I can give you a little TLDR of this video. Number one, I talked about, writing down your idea. I talked about how important an idea is. I talked about how to get an idea. I give you a formula for getting an idea. Write all your goals and everything. Write your goals, your things you can do, your likes, your dislikes. Write it in a piece of paper that you'll be seeing every day. And get the book and write down the problems associated with everything you wrote on that piece of paper. And spend time with this thing at least 10 to 20 minutes every day, ideas will come out. That's number one. Number two, we talked about the power of your mind. And what you need to do with this understand you need to remind yourself how powerful you are, because the world will want to make you forget. Society will want to make you forget. Your situation will want to make you forget that, oh, my mind is actually this powerful. My mind is actually this valuable. Right? So what do you do? Number one, you write down. This is another thing, because write down declarations for yourself. They can be the normal ones of just write down specific declarations for yourself. Not everybody's different. For example, you could be an artist, you could be a dancer, you could be a lawyer. Write down things specifically. For example, if you're an artist, I am the greatest artist that ever lived.
Okay, I think that's a good place to stop. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all learned something very beautiful from this. I look forward to doing more of this every month. Twice every month actually. Just this month we're really gonna have one because I'm still figuring things out. But it's gonna be twice every month. One general, the other one based on the other one on writing or drawing, like or storytelling or like illustration making type deals. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Jesus loves you. Satan loves you. Bye.